Ladies and gentlemen, lovers of war, traders of great renown, I, the Strategic Indian, bid you welcome to my channel, where our motto is think, practice thinking. If you like the content, please do not forget to like and subscribe. Also, leave a comment, which will greatly help with the almighty YouTube algorithm. Since taking up the mantle of leadership, the empire has fought from the sun-kissed mountains of Caledonia to the steppes of the Catalonian plains, from the unending sand dunes of the Sahara to the fertile flatlands of Frisia. The empire has until now borne a series of hammer blows from Vandals, Franks, Ebdanians, Ostrogoths, Geats, Jutes, Varinians, Bastarnians, Thuringians, and the stunted Langobards. Yet we stand undefeated. We stand bruised and bleeding, but we stand undefeated. No matter how much they throw at us, we shall continue to stand. However, we did not go gently into the good night. We raged and raged against the dying light. From the Quadians, Alamans, Caledonians, Gaetulians, Maurians, Picts, Suebians, Gepids, Marcomans, Dacians, Alamans, our Imperial Legions has secured the legacy of our empire. Against hopeless odds and every metric of balance struck against us, we have persevered. However, every arrow we fire changed the balance. Each legion moving forward a single meter changed the political map of the world. Today, external threats shall continue to be met in the form of the Marcomans. But the gravest of all threats has arisen from within our own ranks. A civil war has been ignited by those who do not share our vision of the future. Those who oppose our continuous earth-shattering wars spanning whole continents from the Scottish Highlands to the Sahara Desert. They seek peace. They do not see that the only way for peace as the Western Roman Empire is to ensure that every other faction is destroyed. They do not understand that peace is the desert we create with our legions, which shall be occupied in due time until the entire map is painted one monochromatic red. An enemy most dangerous, Western Roman separatists, seek to overthrow our empire and start their parallel administration. Heretics that they are shall be purged with the maximum possible prejudice. Such an insult shall not be allowed to pass. The first known usage of the term heresy in a civil legal context was in 380 CE by the Edict of Thessalonica of Theodosius I, father of our God Emperor Honorius himself. Thus, this action has clear legal precedence and is fully just as per the laws of the empire we hold so dear. The emperor has therefore decreed that today all enemies shall be terminated. The only coins there will be shall have our emperor's face, the only cuisine Roman, the only language Latin, and the only armies ours. This is how we shall obtain final victory and save the Western Roman Empire. While the earth turns blood red, the skies turn a bright blue. The Council of Carthage has happened, and it will give us a lot of positive public order for the next 3 turns. This is a shot in the arm, a very short lasting one, but an important one nonetheless when you play as the Christian faction. So you would get this with Eastern, Western Roman Empire, I think also as the Alans. But yeah, when you are migrating, you probably haven't settled and built cities, so it won't be helpful. We move our spies around near the Balkans. So Balkans always constantly monitored by spies. We have another brave spy near to the Marcomanic city. We are going to sneak up and see what the Langobards are doing, because they suffered a great humiliation in when I entered the Book of Grudges, so I'm sure they are going to take vengeance upon us. We notice a small army near their main city, and yeah, we have Stilicho, who's still near Iuvanum, guarding it very zealously. This is the linchpin in the center of our European theater. So we move closer to the Marcomans, because we can't reach them in one turn, so we'll have to do it in two. We don't have any mercenaries. We'll go the max till we can fortify, because we don't have enough infantry. And if these guys charge at us, it might be a bit troublesome. So we'll fortify and we'll wait for their move. Province management, we are now making 4,888 gold per turn. So that's good, not good enough. By turn 30, then we'll be making 50,000 gold per turn. And after that, yeah, there's a lot of money to be made. But right now, this is not a lot. So I checked all the provinces, did a little bit of building in provinces which have got positive public order in Hispania, for example. Right, so we ended the turn, and turn is continuing. Franks, Saxons, Langobards. See, so the Langobards had a big army near in the shadow. So they come into Augusta Treverorum and besiege that. So we'll probably have to put a governor over there to protect against this massive army which is coming. However, if it's one army stack, I'm pretty sure against a walled city, even with a tier 1 garrison, I'll be able to take it. And I think Augusta Treverorum is actually a tier 2 city, so that's more than enough. Okay, the Huns move back, that's fine. They are free to do whatever, and the more they move towards the Antians, the better, because I really want them to have a fight with the Antians and destroy that doom stack of theirs with 500 spears and those 4 poison archers, which really scare me. Those poison archers, yeah, that army, oh, I would rather fight the Sassanids. Eastern Rome, ineffectual as usual. Yeah, complete waste of time. Bastarnians are going to move back. They got a humiliation like to no end. And I think they already have a lot of problems in their own hometown because they were being very cavalier. Good. Varinians move in to besiege Octodorum. So that stops our recruitment at Octodorum, but I think our troops will have recovered a little bit, plus we picked up a few mercenaries from the nearby region of Liguria. So in 1 or 2 turns, the Varinians are going to get their apple cart upset. Dacians move back. There are the heretics. So yeah, death to all the heretics. They move in to attack us at Palma, and we are going to meet this challenge. They don't have any other option other than attacking, because as soon as the Western Rome separatist form, they don't hold any land, so they lose troops every turn that they don't occupy land. So what I did is I landed my Marines, I moved them to ramparts to throw arrows, I blocked off the front entrance of the stronghold, so that the cavalry superiority that they do enjoy has to go around the entire town, and that buys us time to throw projectiles at their pikes and their cohorts. So this is actually a very dangerous army, because 1, they have cavalry superiority, 2, they bring Roman infantry to bear, and that's very capable. And I have just a level 1 town, and the Marines help a little bit, but this is a very balanced army, so they are coming in with a lot of cavalry, with a lot of very competent heavy infantry, and also a lot of slingers and archers. And especially pikes I don't have any answers to, because I just have one horse unit, so I can't sandwich it. I can't go and charge that from the front. So the only option is that we would have to make sure each of these units are taken out piecemeal. So for example, they have moved forward their cavalry, and that has left their archers unguarded. So I moved the scout equities to go for the archers. Their horses are trying to enter. So one of the horses that you can see on the screen is running away. This is very dangerous, because what this does is that it starts to run away, then it reforms its morale behind the church, and it can go and attack your archers, which are firing from behind the church. So there you can see it's coming immediately. It regained its morale, and so we would have to send our cohorts, and our cohorts are not very good against these cavalry. So although it's very weak, so it decides to run away. So I will block off the other end with the cohorts. I will move the competency spears at an angle, the old bread and butter tactics, and we will form a hammer with the Sagittarii arrows. So we come in for their Sagittarii which are firing, but the scout equities immediately notice us. So we have got to run away. The cohorts go into testudo. We'll now start firing on this cohorts which we have arrested in place with the competency spears. So yeah, our scout equities have to get out, because even if I have equal numbers on legendary difficulty, the enemy will always win. Unless you have really gone forth and done a hammer and anvil, or you really have great superiority, like for example axes on spears on the back. Other than that, on legendary difficulty, it's very difficult to fight cavalry head-on, one-on-one. They always get a lot of buffs. So our cohorts are in a lot of danger, and so are our Sagittarii. So I immediately put our cohorts which are out of position into testudo, and now it is our turn to get into hammer and anvil. So our boys are going to get charged hammer and anvil. So we'll just have to take it. There is really nothing we can do because we don't have numbers. So on the left flank, you can see our cohorts is getting charged on either end by their Germanic cavalry. Germanic, I think these are Javkev, so they are not that powerful as Germanic direct cavalry. So that's good for us. Their general immediately goes for the barricades, because the enemy has a propensity to go for the barricades. So what I did is I mounted my archers on the ramparts to fire on the back of the general while he's breaking down the barricades. So that will just soften up the general a little bit. So I go heavy shot. I continue firing. Our cohorts are fighting the Germanic JFK very well. Their scout equities are coming back for another hammer and anvil. So yeah, our boys are just holding, and that's just Roman infantry for you. They have like swords on the back of their backs. So yeah, somehow this heroic unit stopped 2 hammer and anvil charges directly from either ends. So the pikes are moving towards our Sagittarii. That's very dangerous, because if they reach up to that, they will just chew up our Sagittarii, and we really need the Sagittarii to pull off whistling shots once the general is dead. Right, so we are moving our scout. Don't go that way, Sagittarii, come on, don't go into the pikes. What's wrong with you? Go the other way. Yes, go the other way. Yeah, so the cohorts are going to mop up their JFK, because I really need to make sure that these units of cavalry don't bother me anymore, because the twice was enough. Right, so we're going to move our Cohorts, yeah. So the cavalry runs away. Our scout equities are going to do a small charge because we don't have time for run up. They're going to open up to throw their projectiles as they come in and charge. Their pikes turned around to go for the cavalry. So that's what the enemy thinks, that the cavalry is actually coming in to charge it because it's in a straight line, but we are actually charging something else. So the pikes get busy, they start moving towards the cavalry because they have a clear advantage. Meanwhile, our cohorts have arrested the general, and we are now going to fire from the right hand side, from the left hand side of the general. So yeah, they do have their shields on that side, so it's a bit difficult, but yeah, this is the best that we can do. We are also firing a little bit to the back of their general. Right, a lot of their horses and cohorts are running. I am still very scared because with this city, when the units run, what they can do is what the previous unit did. They will recoup their morale, and then they are going to charge our cohorts, which are busy with the general. So I move my Marines around. They are right now fighting for a very long time, but they do have a special ability where they can regain their health for a limited amount of time with that whip icon, and you have to use it very critically, because once that 30 seconds that they have their full stamina back, after that they are completely exhausted. So they can do that for a very short amount of time, so you have to make sure that you use it at the most critical time. So our cohorts are again in danger because they are prone to be attacked from either side. So I'm going to move my scout equities to the left flank. So their horses are coming for our Sagittarii, so I immediately move them to the ramparts because the horses are not that good on getting onto the ramparts. So they get busy with our cohorts, and I'm going to get my Sagittarii off the ramparts and try to fire arrows at this very weak horse unit to hope to get it to run away, or the general, because at this point, yeah, this is too chaotic. We have to kill their general. Yeah, that's the only chance that we have. We have to kill their general. So our horses are running around back. Our Marines are doing nice because they have caught the pikes from the side. So we use the special ability, so the whip. So they are now going to be completely refreshed. Our Sagittarii are going to go to precision shot, firing at the back of their general. Let's hope we can get him. And our cavalry is running to support the cohorts. Cohorts are getting the third hammer and anvil charge. In one fight they are getting 3. So we move our Marines back too, because yeah, now they are facing the pikes, so that's no good. So we had a fantastic position in the previous turn, but the pikes rearranged, and then yeah, we can't fight them head on. So we run behind our spears. Our spears are dissolving because yeah, they have been fighting cohorts for this longer time, and that's not what they are designed for. Spears are not designed to fight against swords. So our scout equities have come clear across into the city, into the stronghold, but it can't attack the general because we have our own cohorts in between. So if we charge from that direction, they are going to charge our own cohorts. So friendly fire and friendly attacks are a real thing in Attila. So be mindful of that. So I move them in between so that I can try and attack on the general, because right now, yeah, our Marines are going to be completely tired. Our cohorts are not winning. Our scout equities have to take out their general. Meanwhile, their pikes are moving close, so we switch target to the pikes because we can't fight on the general because we'll get friendly fire. So the general is now in a hopeless position. We have put a hammer and anvil on him. We are going to fire on the pikes, and right now what we need is a miracle. What we need is the Emperor to protect us, and this is the Emperor's boon. The pikes put their pikes down, and then we turned immediately our scout equities and we charged their pikes. This is really the Emperor's hand which was looking over at us. Their general is now running. Our Marines are doing the last bit of fighting that they can. Their mercenary Germanic hurlers are firing, but it's a bit ineffectual because they are a bit afraid of our horses too. Our cohorts are going to try to take out their general. Meanwhile, we are going to switch fire into this infantry blob because we'll be firing from the back of this. We have to be a bit careful because our scout equities are also going to get fired upon. So we will decide to switch either on this infantry mass because we have a few seconds left with the Marines. The Marines are going to hold for a few more seconds, and after that this core unit, if it turns around, it's game over for our horse boys, because they are going to throw their projectiles, they are going to form a testudo. There will be really nothing that I would be able to do. So our Marines are gone, their general is dead. So yes. This, oh thank God, the Emperor really looked out for us. If that pike didn't start losing its formation and charge us, we would have been decimated. Yeah, so Pyrrhic victory, but yes, death to the heretics. There we go. We did the mop up and we got each and every one of those units because I cannot defend this position again. This position is extremely weakened. We are going to take on warriors and let's hope this internecine civil wars and this bloodletting can cease and the entire empire can come under the purview of the emperor. Right, military investment by the Langobards after that slapping that they got from us in the previous episode where we entered the Brook of Grudges. Western Roman separatists are gone, civil war is over, so we can enjoy the entire positive public order from the Council of Carthage event which is going on. So for 3 turns we will get a lot of positive public order. We have population surpluses now kicking in Africa. We're going to turn this into the bread basket and the money making machine, and that's what it was historically. Africa was the bread basket. So whenever the barbarians could take Africa away from Western Rome, that's when it was at the weakest, and that's what the Vandals did. They formed the Vandalic kingdom in Africa and stopped this grain trade going all the way from there to Rome, and we had then the sack of Rome in 410 CE. So we have to prevent that in this scenario. Let's do that's a bit of history, and let's do assignment of offices. All the 4-star generals get the tier 2 except Vindonius Magnus because he has never completed a tier 1 employment. So we put in the other patricians because we want them to use their influence. Meanwhile, our family is going to preserve their influence. We are the daughter of Flavius Stilicho, so that's Dula Flavianus, is going to go and marry Flavius Eutychianus. Yeah, that's a mouthful. But spoiler alert, the marriage is not going to go through because of a bug in the game. So yeah, that was terrible. I really hated it when that happened. But yeah, that has happened to the best of us. So this is one bug from Attila. Right, now we have stabilized the Balkans again, but we cannot let the Dacians just make another stack and just come at us again. So we are going to take this competent army, Legio First Adriatics, and move that towards the Dacian capital. Meanwhile, our spy will have a little bit of a look-see, because we have to make sure before we move this legion that there are no threats in the Balkans, because the Balkans are going to constantly throw us curveballs. Right, Dacians who are going to go back. So yeah, Balkans are clear. So Legio first is going to move towards Skupai, which is the capital of the Dacians. Meanwhile, Legio 10th Victrix is going to move into range of Sirmium and is going to set up an ambush, because if there are any armies which are going to be cavalier enough to come into Balkans, they are most welcome to do so. We have removed some troops from the army, so our per turn income has gone up to 6,694 gold, which is fantastic because I love gold. I really love gold. Right, so now Stilicho, let's go. Oh, hallelujah, look at that. We get cavalry and archers. Look at this army. This army is going to do a lot in the coming turns. This is going to be a heroic army. Right, we have a golden opportunity handed to us. There is all the armies of the Marcomans are now outside of their city and within range of the city. So if you attack one of them, so I will attack this one lone general of theirs, and he is going to bring in his reinforcements. That's that entire stack and the city garrison. They don't have much cavalry, and trust me, I have saved this this game file and I replay this battle quite a lot in my free time, and I have never been able to fight this fight as good as I did in this turn. So this is a bit of a guilty pleasure of mine. I really refight this battle because it's such a fantastic battle, and it's a bit of self-aggrandizement, I understand, but I'm really proud of myself for this fight that I did. I just this is one of the best fights. I think I list this one with the fights with the Pictish city in the War of the Cities, where we burned down the Pictish city. That was a really enjoyable fight. The fight with the Maurians, which we did at Tingis, where they came in with the navy. Bedouins who had never seen water are on land trying to fight Roman heavy marines. Yeah, good luck with that. That was a really enjoyable fight. This is a great, really fantastically enjoyable fight. So we move our mobile projectiles forward. So our melee cav is group 1, mobile projectiles group 2, foot projectiles group 3. We get a bit surprised by their cavalry coming in because we were really taking pot shots at their general, and now we have to get busy with this lone Germanic cav that they are bringing to the show. But if we take this one out, then yes, they lose all mobility and the entire field just basically belongs to us. So we move our mobile projectiles. They are never going to catch up to these guys. Our Hunnic horse archers go to fire shot to do additional damage to the horses. Our melee cav is kept nearby. We keep moving our Germanic Jav cav, so 3 units firing on 1 horse unit is not advised. But here we will have a lot of requirements for our cavalry, right? So there are multiple objectives in this battle. First objective is to make sure nobody survives in this, and second objective is that we have to make sure most of our cavalry survive, because we really can't train cavalry. The mercenaries are already used up, and therefore we would have to make sure that we take on this gigantic infantry and projectile heavy army out with our cavalry. So that's why I started donating immediately all the projectiles from our Germanic Jav cav, because I want to convert them into melee cav. So I don't go to precision shot because then they will be tired. Look at this charge. So this is coming in and I do mobile charge. So man, that is a devastating charge. It's just because the AI gets a lot of buffs, that's why these guys are still alive and standing. That hurler unit got the worst charge in the history of the game. So best charge from my side and the worst charge for their side. Yeah, they got dissolved. Look at that. So I moved through because we can't really stay in position in one place. They have a lot of different kind of projectiles. So they have got archers, which can go to fire arrows against our cavalry. They have got slingers, which can destroy our infantry and cavalry. And the most dangerous projectile unit that they have are their brigands, which are their javelins. They don't have that much of ammunition. They just have 4 ammunition, but those are really heavy shots. That is very painful. So we move our foot projectiles. We make sure that their projectiles are constantly made to run around and get charged by various different units. So as soon as one of them are able to charge, we move a cavalry to close in on them. Even if they are not doing anything, they will at least trigger their skirmish mode and make sure that they are not firing in peace. Our foot projectiles are immediately moved outward, so that they can continue firing. Meanwhile, we start opportunistically charging their projectiles. Their axe units are protecting one of their hurlers. So we are now slowly moving outward like a blooming flower and making their infantry get diffused and start attacking different targets, while we can focus on firing on whichever unit is near us. So our axes are holding the right flank of our main line. Meanwhile, our projectiles are going to go to work against their general. So that's the general of the main army, not the... So the general that you see on the screen right now, that is the general, which is that small single unit army of theirs, which we attacked initially. Killing this general will really not do anything for us, because he doesn't have any troops. So only person who will get debuffed is that one unit itself. No, that's not what we want to do. We want to debuff the other army. So that's the other general. Our axes are holding just, so we'll move Stilicho nearby. The problem over here is that they came in from the right flank of our pike line, so they started chewing up our pikes, because their pikes are very powerful from the front side only and not from any other side. We can't do anything about it, because this is too hectic. We have to... Our cavalry also cannot be brought entirely to bear, because we are also mopping up. So that's why I really love this battle, because this is really micro to the extreme. So I'm checking how many units are there on each of these troops which are running away, because I have to make sure that they get below 9. I cannot help our axes. Our general is in the fray. One of our pike units which ran away is back, so we just make sure he turns around so that he doesn't get charged in the back, because they wear cotton shirts. Their main general is beginning to run, so let's hope we can get in and get him out. Yes, we got him. So that's tremendous, because now their main army is going to start to get debuffed. Their general, the other general, tried to catch up with our Hunnic horse archers, which are now on heavy shot, firing on their general. Our cavalry is kept on moved around constantly to make sure that every unit which is running away is actually captured. We cannot we cannot charge this pike unit, because we have only one horse nearby, and he can't charge anything very valuable. Let's see. Yeah, we'll move him around, because the axes are really on the mission to get this unit. They really want to chew up this cavalry unit. Meanwhile, our general is really in a lot of trouble, because he has got spears in the front and back. So we move the fresh competency spears to support. Our cavalry is still moved away from their axes. we are going to make our axes go into berserk mode, because that's the only chance that we have. They get plus 10 melee attack. We can see some troops of theirs are running away, so we will have to make sure that our cavalry boys do turn up and catch up to them. Right, so we have to keep moving our cavalries in such a manner that the axes don't catch up. Our hunting horses are going to continue firing on this on their general. We are going to start mopping up on the left flank of any unit which is running away. So our general is now in a lot of trouble because he has got axes coming for him from the high ground. So this is very, very critical right now. Stilicho is really in the danger zone. We gotta call Kenny Loggins because he is in the danger zone. We are going to now focus fire on their axes, because we cannot spare any troops. All the cavalry is either engaging with their general foolishly, or they are helping our general to survive. Right, so everything which was near our general has dissolved, so that's great. So we're going to move Stilicho a bit back. We are going to reform our Comitatense spears so that we can hammer and anvil their axes, because we won't have that much time with our Comitatense spears against their axe units. Right, so we are going to continue firing on whatever units are available. So their pikes are running, so we're going to focus fire on their axes. We are going to check which units need to be mopped up. One unit is sent behind the general to mop up that infantry unit of theirs which is running away, because I don't want a single person from this army running away. Whoever is nearest to our projectiles are getting fired. Our cavalry is also doing mop up as best as it can. Our main line is still holding. We are going to send our Stilicho back to a safer position so that we can hammer and anvil this axe units of theirs. Finally, some good news. So we have now got number superiority, because we have finally whittled down this gigantic army that they brought. They brought a gigantic army. We were really outnumbered by a very large amount, and now we are going to move forward. Whoever we have with projectiles near to that axe unit, or we are going to horse sandwich that axe unit. Our main line is slowly collapsing. We are going to move our scout, our Germanic cav, Jav cav in such a manner so that we can hammer and anvil this axe unit. Meanwhile, we're going to continue mop up. Our horse units are going to continue firing. All of our projectiles, foot projectiles, are done with their ammunition. So right now it's going to be the horses and our infantry, our last remnant infantry that we have, which has got to take up this axe unit, this main line which is being attacked. Right, so we have arrested their axes, so our Javcav is going to go in for a brave charge far before their infantry can come and support. Our horse archers are out of ammunition, so we couldn't kill that other general. Well, maybe we have killed him, because we get only one notification per battle for general killed. So the first general killed gets a notification. So that's a difference from what we had in medieval Total War, whereby every general which gets killed gets a little cinematic and a message, and that was so beautiful. You would see their general being killed by your troops, and that was such a beautiful mechanic. But Sega with the Total War series really went downhill after Attila. It's I have cried buckets. Well, I don't want to make myself sad again. Attila is the last Hussar of the Total War series. You can feel the disappointment in my voice when I say that. Right, and then came all this Total War saga, which I was a bit hopeful about. It's so sad. I still remember on Fridays coming back from the lab, finishing my work week and then coming back and then fighting a medieval total war, and you felt this massive love and this massive passion for this empire that you're going to go and build, and this beautiful opening cinematic of this guy writing in a library, this monk writing in the library. What a beautiful game medieval was. And Rome was a disappointment. Rome 2 was a disappointment, not Rome the Total War, a heresy if I say that. Rome 2 was a disappointment. Rome 2, even after all these gigantic number of fixes, never got as tough as Attila. So Attila I love because of this toughness. You really feel that you're fighting the apocalypse. So we got the best possible outcome. That was a bit of reminiscing. So all the armies of the Marcomans are gone. We are going to sack their city for 2,000 gold. They came with 4,400 people and only 97 people escaped. And now the moment you have all been waiting for, the Marcomans are going to be terminated. There we go. That's the second termination of the series, and one of the best fights that I have fought so far in this playthrough. So we are going to merge troops so that we save on upkeep. We are going to move back towards our territory. We'll have a look around at all the factions that we can see. So our spy has been moving around and he has discovered the Legions. So yeah, this is total war. So let's see if we can get something out of it. The arranged marriage is open, so yeah, I'm not going to give you my daughter. Hell to the no. Payment, we ask for a very modest payment of 300, so that increases my blood pressure, and my blood pressure is the most precious thing in the world for me. No, they don't want to fight. Well, you know what that means. War with the Legions till they are also terminated. Right, we looked around, built a few farms here and there, used up all the money, 520 gold coming in. One legion is not motivated enough, so we ordered a decimation to get the integrity up. We end the turn. Let's see what happens. Visigoths, Saxons, Langobards. So Langobards are continuing to besiege our city in Belgica. Great. So Garamantians have finally grown a spine and they have come into our territory. Great. So the emperor is going to move to Sabrata and he is going to defend Sabrata because as you can notice he is on ambush stance. So the Garamantians think that there is no army in Tripolitana. We are going to correct that for them. And great. Huns moved back a little bit the previous turn, so I'll have to use the spy to see what they do, because all our troops in the Balkans are put in ambush stance, so they see Balkans as free real estate, and they want to move in and make some death traps and disturb the communal harmony that we have established in the Balkans. Yeah. Balkans, the most religiously tolerant place on earth now, and respectful of each other's cuisine, and lovers of history and not obsessed by history. The most unnationalistic place on earth is going to be disturbed by the Huns. We are not going to allow that to happen, because as you remember, we fixed the Balkans. Eastern Roman Empire built a small army in Macedonia. It is moving its ship around in the Mediterranean as usual. Gepids move towards Sirmium. I think it's because they don't see our armies, so they also think it's free real estate. Oh, this is interesting. The Varinians decided to uplift the siege. This is great because then we will finish recruiting the troops. Because if they kept that siege going, that would be much more difficult for us, because in 4 turns they could have started starving out our armies and we would have to build another army in Liguria and then move it to attack them. So they did us a great service by lifting that siege. So we will probably get that army that we build up and go after them. Right, Dacians come in for a very heavy infantry focused attack, but that is for the next turn. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope you're enjoying the This is Total War that we are doing. This has been the Strategic Indian, signing out.